Hi, everybody. We are back from a crazy, wild weekend at the University of, I'm sorry, Utah Valley University. They had a Bitcoin Tech Summit. It is the first university to hold a Bitcoin conference, and we've got one of the professors, Charlene. She's known as I Heart Charlene. She has a podcast and lots of other things. We'll let you know all about her just here in a second. But it was a great weekend. Got to meet some of my Patreon members as well as some new people, and some great content providers and opportunities there to get together with some decentralized options, everything from phones to mining, all kinds of great projects. So to let you guys know about all of that, just right after this, give us a like and share this video. Hi, Charlene. Great to have you on the show today. Thanks for joining us. I'm sure you are exhausted after the Bitcoin conference, the Bitcoin Tech Summit there at Utah Valley University. You turned the whole campus orange for us for the weekend. It was pretty amazing.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for being the guest of honor at Utah Valley University, where, yes, we were the first university, publicly funded university, to host a Bitcoin event. This is our second event, and you're like royalty. You've been here twice with Ben and the crew, and it's just been so amazing to have you on stage with us. And I mean, I'm still like on a super high. I haven't come down yet.
There was a great turnout, and I thought really, valuable speakers. They brought great content, and it really engaged community or attendees. There was a great conversation in a lot of the events. Even at the lunch break, people started engaging in, like, I would say banter, but conversation about decentralized currency, what that looked like, community and opportunities. So you really fostered a great community and opportunity. What kind of precipitated this event? Can you tell us a little bit? I know in the magazine, which I believe is still available, the Tokens magazine that you started with the first event, what precipitated this event and how did this get started?
Well, thanks to you and the Bitcoin Ben community. That's really why I started doing the Bitcoin events. I've been a journalist and a writer and a publisher for many, many years, and was publishing a different magazine called Looking Green. And then about a year ago, when my body went into a coma, and when I woke up, Bitcoin was the only thing that I could actually really stomach. I couldn't take the politics. I couldn't, after 11 days in the coma, I woke up and I started to realize like what's really important. And I saw like where the conversation's going. Nobody's really focused on going green, coming out of the pandemic. Everybody's just trying to make ends meet. But for me, finding a voice or a place for my voice to continue in as far as writing and content creation and thought leadership, blockchain was the space that I felt that my brain could handle, because I lost a lot of brain function when I woke up. And so it's really hard. And so I have to really try to grow new brain cells and develop my brain again. And listening to Ben's show and connecting with the community online really grounded me. And for me, one of the stories in the magazine, Bitcoin is Life, or Perhaps I'm Dreaming, really talks about, I tell the story of how, listening to Ben and him saying, entrepreneurs, you need to go out there and do something. The space is wide open for people to create their own thing in the crypto space. And being that I'm a publisher, I'm like, you know what? I can't really just talk about Bitcoin and crypto in Looking Green magazine. So I actually rebranded my entire magazine. It's been in publication since 2007, and I call it now Tokens Magazine. So, and then shortly after that, Facebook changed its name to Metaverse, and then Square changed its name to Block. And a lot of people are rebranding. So I feel really special, Lisa, for having
Wow.
rebranded myself.
Yeah, you were, yeah, forced into it through pain and circumstance, but really leading the curve. So, can you talk a little bit about, like, because I've heard you speak, and you're saying you lost brain cells and you're struggling, but when you start talking about what you did in your former life in the energy industry, you are brilliant. And the things that you know about the energy industry that most of us have no clue about, how much energy is wasted and lost in transportation of traditional energy mining or function of
Yeah.
energy plants, and how Bitcoin solves that problem. How you were talking about how it's like walking backwards with a pail, and the water jumping back into the pail this weekend. I thought that was just brilliant. Can you talk a little bit about that, and your experience with that, and how that led you to Bitcoin, where you saw the value in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so as you said, my career has been writing for the utility company. I was working at Southern California Edison for a number of years, and then I was most recently working at Rocky Mountain Power. That's the power company, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, supplying energy and electricity. And so my knowledge so when putting the two together, the sustainability element, the energy element, the need for clean energy, and now the blockchain. So my actual motto is that blockchain is the answer to climate change, because we waste so much energy. Like people don't know that when the energy you're paying for, you're really not using all of that. So like from the power plant, like here in Utah, we have a coal fire plant, we have many natural gas plants, but they're only actually, say if you put a gallon of gas in your tank, they're only getting about 15 to 20% efficiency out of every gallon. And so, but we're still paying for the full gallon,
Right.
and they're charging for us. And then you talk about only getting 15% from what you put in the power plant. Now, by the time it gets delivered from the power plant to your house or your business, it's losing energy along the way. So as it travels along the grid, because energy is a very unstable thing. So you can't really, like I said, with a bucket of water, it's like you're running along the beach with a pail of water, and as you're running, it's spilling out. That's the same kind of thing that's happening with the electricity. We're losing a lot of it along the way. So by the time it gets to your house, we only sent 15% from the power plant. By the time it gets to your house, we're losing another 70%. Sometimes it depends on how far you have to transmit. So transmission loss, line loss is a real factor that we're paying for. Now, what if you could take a Bitcoin mining, like one of these containers? So we saw a lot of these, like the box where everything's set up in a semi-container. And if you could take the Bitcoin mining or the crypto mining directly to the power
At
plant
source. Yeah,
at
at
source.
source.
So
Right.
we eliminate the spilling of the water and like rewinding time. But we also had a solution that was featured at the Utah Bitcoin Summit, where we had an energy provider that actually tries to recapture up to 80% of the energy lost at the factory. So we can actually now pretty much use nearly 90%, which is unheard of. When you think of driving your car, you put your gas in and you drive. You don't think of how much you're actually using and how much you're losing. So the
Right. If
distance
you could
between you,
capture the energy that's being spent by
Yes.
driving your car. If you could be mining Bitcoin by driving your car,
Yes. Yes.
that would be incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and electric cars kind of do that. Like the electric cars, the energy that they're using, like the brake, when you hit the brake, you use a lot of energy. That energy can be regenerated. So lots of technology like this is coming up, but being able to utilize it, because it's not just that we're wasting energy at the power plant or on the grid transmission. We're actually over capacity in energy. This idea that we don't have enough energy or we have an energy crisis, it's not true. We have so much more energy, because when they build a power plant, they build it like 100 times more of what they actually need. And so at any given day, they can ramp it up, but they can't ramp it down. So all the energy that they cannot use because they can't ramp it down is basically grounded or flare gas, or
right.
just being sent into the atmosphere. And so technology like blockchain allows us to capture that unused energy, that wasted energy, that inefficient energy, and use it all for the blockchain mining. Imagine when everybody's mining, how much energy that's going to take. But if you look at it, the capabilities and efficiency and all the technologies we were learning about at the Utah Bitcoin Summit will actually provide a better use of energy. So we're not going to be stealing energy for Bitcoin.
Right.
We're going to be more efficient, because if we're employing efficient technologies and energy, it's not just for mining, it's for your everyday use of electricity. All the
And it's a
efficiency that,
stable,
yes,
way to store that energy to be used at a later time. So
yes,
it's not like a battery that's gonna, wear out in 5 years and then be a detriment to our environment,
no.
or lose that energy over time. You can put it in Bitcoin, and it's a stable way that's not harming the environment to store that extra energy that that you don't then have to burn off into the environment like a natural gas flare that could harm the environment, like I said, or store in a battery that would be harmful to the environment and that would not hold its value over time. So it is just
Bitcoin
really,
is the solution for
yeah,
storage of energy. Because
yeah,
if you mine the Bitcoin today, the Bitcoin's not going to go away. You're going to have it
right,
forever. So
right,
it's the best, like I said, blockchain, Bitcoin is the answer to climate change.
right,
So we should have this conversation, with the more people on the sustainability topic, because as soon as they realize that the mining and the supporting the network with clean energy is going to solve a lot of other problems in the energy industry, they will just hug Bitcoin. They will love
right.
Bitcoin the way we do.
I hope so. If their intentions are what they say they are, they definitely would. Um, so that's where just hearing you talk about all this, you're brilliant about the energy industry, and hearing your passion for Bitcoin and seeing the solution in that and what it does for the community and the world. I can see where that really drove you, and hearing your story about coming out of this coma and suffering these injuries and trying to um, still say like, well, what can I do? And through these injuries, being driven to push this to the community, and then using your resources. And you said like, well, you looked around, what are my resources? Well, I'm a professor at a university, and it's part of your therapy is to continue to teach and use your brain power and use your resources, and to put this thing together. And so it's just been an honor to be partnered with you with this. And so we came in October. You hosted again in April, and you're looking forward to the next one in October again. Who are some of the other speakers that we've had? I know I have some pictures.
Yeah.
I don't have
So
all the speakers and the pictures because people kind of came in and left, and I know we had to hit the road for some of our things. But we were there most of the day. And then we had some more people come in the afternoon as well. Um,
yeah. Lisa, it was an amazing experience to connect with all the speakers and the panelists. We had our county commissioner, who is the
Yeah,
person who writes the budget for our entire county, which is the fastest growing county in the entire United States. And
yeah,
she was on stage, and she's a proponent of blockchain. She's a proponent of Bitcoin. They actually, she talked about how they're putting their marriage license, they're putting all their vital records on the blockchain
wow.
in our county. And since the Canadian government was saying that even if you wanted to get married, you needed to get a shot, and you couldn't get married, or you couldn't get your marriage license. So what the county, Utah County, did was they offered online marriages to anyone in the world. You can get married in Utah from anywhere in the world on
I
Zoom or whatever,
love it.
and they charge you $70. So they've raised nearly $1.5 million, offering online marriages and putting those vital records with a seal, a virtual seal, online on a blockchain. I mean, this is amazing. We are actually having our local government involved in that. And then the other thing we did too, thank you for putting up the picture. Everyone in the photograph on stage were the panelists and speakers. They were holding up their certificates because UVU issued a black belt in blockchain certificate to all of our speakers, and all of our attendees got a yellow belt from the university, Utah Valley University. So you are now officially, you have a certificate saying you have education in blockchain, you are a blockchain specialist, and it comes from a reputable university, signed by the director of economic development, and of course your humble professor
I
as
love
well.
it. I love it. Yeah. So I went to Oklahoma State University for 5 years. I never finished my degree. Well, actually, I went there for 4 years. I went to a junior college for my first year, but I never finished my degree. And so I finally have my certificate from an actual university. I felt very proud. I was like, yes.
Yes, you
And I
graduated.
have
We had
one
a
that matters. It's
graduation.
in my graduation in blockchain. So this meant a lot to me. Like I said, I don't have all the pictures. There were other pictures on Twitter that I'll share as well that have all the speakers. This was just one of the speaker groupings that we took some pictures of, but I wanted to show some of these. So it was an amazing event. And
And we
then,
had a special character. So we had Bitcoin Ben.
yeah.
And since you guys were leaving before the end of the show, we had to have someone stand in your place. And so we had
Oh,
Bitcoin
how funny.
Bear.
Oh, how funny. I saw the big teddy bear. I did not know. So that was what the Bitcoin Bear stood in for Bitcoin Ben the rest of the day. That's
Yes.
hilarious. I loved it. You also did an auction with some artwork from our friend Mame that was she's been on our show many times. And some beautiful artwork. This one with the red was actually the original or the inaugural Tokens magazine cover photo, and I think that piece went for almost $600. And there's some other pieces of artwork in the back, and so that will be a part of the Bitcoin Tech Summit every year as well. So there's an art auction. She's got speakers, um, as well as people having conversations. You have panels and speaker classes or breakout sessions as well. So I know Tron from
Yeah, we
Raven
had
Coin
Tron
was
Black
there.
with Raven
Yeah.
Coin. He was the developer of the Raven Coin. And the Raven Coin is like the foundation of a lot of other coins. They've used that to develop. If you want to do NFTs, the Raven Coin is the best to use for that. We had TaxBit. TaxBit
Yeah.
is very popular, especially now it's tax season, because people in crypto, and they're right here. They're actually 2 miles away from the university, their head office. We had also backyard bookkeeper for your everyday bookkeeping and sorting out your crypto donations. If you're getting or making payments in crypto. How do you reconcile your income expense? We also had a really cool addition this time. We had a meditation. You meditate for crypto. So the time you spend in meditation, rejuvenating your body and your cells and just your whole being, you can earn time for that. And then we had a brand new launch of or pre-launch of a crypto blockchain. It's called Grand Time. So you collect time. You don't collect tokens. You offer and share time with people, and you can amass a certain amount of time. If you don't want to do your own chores, you can take other people. It's kind of like the Uber of chores, or what is that other one, like
Interesting.
a working
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
Upwork?
working one. Yeah, that I think Target even uses something similar to that. Yeah, I'm
I
not
can't
sure
remember
what
what
it's
it's
called.
called, but like if you want someone to do chores, you don't want to do it, you pay them in your time, and they collect times on this
Interesting.
platform. And every attendee, we had about 126 attendees, were given 1,000 Grand Time tokens. So
Oh,
we'll make sure that you get your wallet set up with that.
I'll have to have them come on the show. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Are
airdrop
there
airdrop.
age limits on that?
I don't, I think, no, I don't know the answer, but 18 plus is the general
Okay.
rule.
General rule for that. Okay. I was gonna say my kid would take advantage of that. He'd be like, can someone come bail me out of my chores? Because my mom's gonna make me sweep again.
But
So
these are more
or
like
dust.
digital, what do you call it? Chores. Like you don't want
Tasks
to
or
post your own
whatever.
Twitter, or you don't want to do your own
Oh,
blogging.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really useful to a lot of my influencer friends. Like there's a lot of
Yes.
them that are trying to hire like an assistant to do some like help with like uploading videos, or like they'll create something,
Yes.
but then they're like, oh, now I got to go post it to 10 different platforms and things like that. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
So
Huh.
you now own 1,000 Grand Time tokens.
Very cool. I'll have to test it out and have them on the show and see if I can share that with some friends. That's really interesting. Um, yeah, really cool. And then we also had the blockchain phone, which I know I can get a link from you. He said a referral link. So from
Yes.
Michael Proper. So I wanted to talk to him about that. And that's something just with, I've had personal issues with like, sometimes I can call my mom, sometimes I can't, or I can only text her, but I can't call her. Or she can't call me, but I can call her. I don't know. There's some kind of issues. And we've tried talking with our um, provider and they can't figure it out. There's all these kind of things. But when he talked about the privacy and the way that they distribute your information and how you own your data um, on that really appealed to me instead of, your data
Yeah.
being
The
owned by
difference
whatever
is
provider.
the regular provider, like the big ones, AT&T, T-Mobile, they sign up with the government for their license, but they also agree to share our data with the
Mhm.
government. Now, there is another pathway to communication, and it's called the decentralized phone system. So, like people with prepaid phones, or you go to those little phone shops and they give you a phone, you just buy like a
Yeah,
burner phone,
yeah,
right? So, the Clear network runs most of those third-party services, and they have not entered into this agreement to share data with the government. So basically, they just buy a block of phones, and they don't really keep a record of how or who has these blocks of phone. And so it's kind of decentralized. But what Clear United has done is not only they provide the phone service, they also provide a device that your device, you own your device. It's not like your Apple where,
yes.
you have to
You're
keep
not going to lease it
upgrading.
out and upgrade it. Yeah. And they were
Yeah.
pretty reasonable. I was pretty surprised at that as well.
So you
Because I
can own
thought,
your
oh,
own
it's going to
device.
be, over $1,000 or something, but it wasn't. Um,
No. No.
So
So they have the service and they also have the device. And then the second thing is they have storage of your data where
yes,
it's completely private to you. They have, if you lost it, you lost it. They don't get involved in your data. And
yeah.
so that's really the new frontier in communication, is going off of the mainstream platforms onto devices and services that are decentralized.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to them about, you know, because I've been kicked off of, YouTube so many times in the streaming. He talked about streaming options, all kinds of different things. And so running nodes and being part of supporting the network and benefits from that. So it was really interesting. I'm definitely interested in learning more about that and talking to them about, what kind of benefits could come from that, and then sharing that with my community, because there's a way that then the community benefits as well. So, and I'm always looking out for
Yeah, it's the new
my people.
metaverse. The new
Yeah,
metaverse, you don't need a corporation for
right.
communication. You don't need a corporation for connecting with your community members. Everyone can be independently connected.
Yeah, that's really, so inspiring, encouraging. We're getting rid of that middleman, which, I think we're all kind of tired of paying that middleman. So it's exciting, really exciting. Well, I just want to thank you for inviting me and including me in this. And I think it was a really inspiring event. And I'm excited to see the community come together around it. And I hope more and more people will take advantage of this opportunity. Like I said, you brought amazing speakers together. Where can everybody find the tokens magazine? Because they're still available online. Is that correct?
Yes, so I'm actually, you can go onto Utah or tokensmagazine.com, and there's a shopping cart item where you can purchase a copy of the magazine. So the last time was very limited, and we only
Mhm.
had 50 signed copies. And this time I only had like 10 signed copies. And out of that 10, I only have like three left. So I
Oh,
only have
wow.
3 signed copies that I'm going to auction off, signed by Lisa, signed by Bitcoin Ben, signed by all the speakers that were there this time. And I have, I think, about 5 of their first edition original copies. The last one was auctioned under my account on eBay for $202, the first edition. Then I saw
Oh, wow.
somebody relisted a signed copy under their account. I don't know who they are. They just acquired a copy, and then now they're that one I saw went for like $600 for a signed copy of the first edition. Yeah.
Wow. I gave some of those away at my meetups and stuff. So if you guys have one of those, you
You
are,
should
yeah,
have
because
kept them.
yeah, I bought them. Remember, I bought them as gifts. So I gave them for Christmas gifts to everybody that does a show with me on a regular basis. That was my Christmas gift to everybody this
Wow.
year. So they all got one as a Christmas gift. And then I had a couple extras and I used them um, for at our meetups that we do when we travel around. And I would put like one out every once in a while as a raffle item. So I have one that I put in the safe in a plastic bag
Yes.
that's got all the signatures on it. And then I have another one here in my office. I think those are the last two I have. So I
Well,
just have the
oh
two.
my goodness. Did you get a copy of this last
I
one?
got I got two of those, and neither one of mine are signed, but I have two of those. Yeah. So
Okay. And the
yeah.
other beauty about it, it's actually not even trimmed, and it's the editor's proof copy. I didn't even have time to make the proofs. So if you have
Wow.
the second edition and you have a copy, it's literally has not even been proofread. So
Wow.
because at the university you have to go through like peer review and all of
All the
that, so you're
steps.
getting the
Yeah.
uncut unedited version, which I'm sure is going
Wow.
to be more valuable than the finished product.
Yeah, and you were so gracious to give me a full page ad in there for my website. I've got the NFT of that Glasswalker did for Westwood and I for our Happy Hour Roadshow, and I did an ad for LitecoinLisa.net, and just did a awesome job. And so I appreciate
Oh
that so
yeah,
much.
there
Yeah,
it is. Maybe
there
you
we
can
go.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
And
awesome.
this one
Thank
doesn't
you.
even have page numbers. This is how rough cut it is. Because
Oh, wow.
it literally was hot off the press the night before.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go. Well, Charlene, I just want to thank you so much. It was a great event, and we really appreciate all you're doing for the community. And it's really inspiring. And I think that was kind of what my message was, and what I wanted to bring to the event is, people come and they're watching these speakers that, build tokens and do all these amazing things. And I'm like, but just look around, what's in your wheelhouse, and what do you do? What are your connections already? And where can you start talking about using blockchain in your life already? Who do you already know in your network? And there was a my buddy Public sent me a screenshot today that he was in an article where a gas station put a big sign up, and they're like, accepting gold and silver. They could have just as easily said accepting Bitcoin, and you changed the narrative, you changed the conversation with those around you in your circle. And so I think that's what you did, and I'm really inspired by what you did, and just so grateful to be part of all you're doing. So just wanted to have you on today and say thanks, and um, just keep going. I'm really proud of what you're doing. So hope everybody can go on to tokensmagazine.com and order a copy. There's a lot of great articles in there and information. You can get connected with a lot of different resources, and you'll be hearing more from me about some of the other speakers and opportunities that I found out about from the event.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thanks for coming on. We'll see you next time. And take care, everybody that's in the chat. Be sure to give us a like and share this video. Get this great information out there to hopefully inspire others to see what they can do in their community to get blockchain moving for others. Take care.